There's always someone who looks worse than you do. That's the way to say it.
I used to be really conscious of my body, of how people perceived me. It's called a pigeon chest. It's my sternum in my chest has come out, and there's another one which actually the sternum goes in. And there was a guy at school in my same year which had the one that went in. There was always jokes about us going together. That was not cool.
I have a funny feeling that my body, what I am in, is holding me back. Because I want to go fast, not slow. But my body is all about slow, not fast.
Yeah, I think it's really different, like going to another country where people are different color to where you come from. And sometimes, like when I walk in the street, like many people look at me. Sometimes other people pick on me. Sometimes I worry about it. Sometimes I don't.
I don't mind what color skin I mean. It does not matter if it's brown or black.
I just have fun. I think that's what it's all about, really.
You always try and improve, and that's life. You're improving on everything, but you're happy. You got to be happy with the way you are. I mean, I have a girlfriend. That's happy enough. She doesn't complain, so I don't complain really. There you go.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about myself. I love my body. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I'm not 100% perfect, but I'm happy with where I am, with where my body is at the moment.
In Sudan, like everyone is the same color and everything. Like I remember one day, this guy from America, he went there. Like we follow him for about a full day, looking at him. I thought he might bleed if I touch him. It's like, I thought that the body had so.
The skin on my hands, you can tell that I have a disability.
Probably could do with a few more muscles.
My hands are small, not big, and they're supposed to be big.
Some days I might be happy with my arms, so I focus on looking at them rather than things I'm unhappy with.
Oh, well, obviously I'd like to make some improvements in some areas, but you know, it's all part of setting challenges and all part of achieving them and feeling good about yourself when you do achieve them.
I like the haircut I got. It's much better than, you know, if I let it go, I sort of have a Ringo Starr thing going on. I've got a duck's tail. Got a problem with the monobrow. I like to keep fit. No matter where you go, no hairdresser can fix a duck's tail. A curse I'll have till the day I die.
I don't really care how my body looks.
Damn you, duck's tail!
There's one particular thing that I have avoided due to my body, and that's swimming when I was younger.
Wearing bathers, like swimming and stuff.
That was always difficult, and I always wore shirts.
When I grew up, I sort of stretched out, so I used to be basically a little butterball. But I wouldn't go swimming without a shirt on.
Just before you step up onto the block, that's when I'd take my shirt off. Give it to a mate, and I'd say, meet me at the other end. I'd swim, I'd get out, and then I'd just quickly put the shirt on, straight away.
When I was younger, I used to suffer from an eczema thing, and I used to get red spots on my chest, and I wouldn't want to do anything or go to the beach, you know, that would require me to take my t-shirt off or my top off.
I've got the view that if I don't know anyone, why should I care what they think? If I know them and they think badly of me, are they a friend?
Sometimes I would avoid being in public if I think that I look like crap for that day at the end of your washing cycle or something, got no clothes.
I do avoid wearing short shirts and shorts a lot of the time.
Seem to be copping a little bit of ribbing about the hairline creeping back a little bit lately. Mum's usually the one who gives me the most bang, which I find ironic considering her genetics.
When I first began going to the gym, I would definitely not go as often as I would have liked because other people there were very bulked up and, you know, trim trot and tanned and they've got their muscles and so forth all pumped up, and I, you know, didn't have that sort of physique. You
can only sort of play the hand you're dealt. Everyone's different, and you know, it's what makes us individual and unique. And if we, you know, if we were all clones of the same people, it would be a very boring world.
I've been bullied quite a bit, mainly in high school.
Used to get bullied every single day. Kept my anger in until on. If that does not work,
fester in my mind. But then I just chat with people, chat with my mates, and
got picked on about my weight a little bit.
I responded to the bullying in different ways. Sometimes I'd bully other people. A lot of the times I'd just walk away, let it go.
People used to call me fat a lot. It was actually quite fun. And then I kind of got over that because people said it all the time.
I got suspended for fighting because I was bullying, and then I just finally snapped.
Yeah, I've been bullied before, but not in any really big way, just with friends kidding around.
On some people, I think too, that can have a negative impact, like even if it's friends, like sometimes it can make them feel bad or whatever.
Usually get hurt by my brother a lot and my sister. They both gang up, sort of.
People tend to pick on people if they're different, if they're largely different for any particular reason.
He was born wrong or something like that. You got to be joking me.
I had a few family instances occur, and kids at school took advantage of that. They sort of made fun of that, and that really hurt. That cut me pretty deep. So I reacted quite badly. I was quite furious with the kids, and a big fight broke out at school, and a lot of people got in trouble. And the next couple of years was quite difficult for me to sort of fit in with school again. And I think everyone's sort of affected by bullying in some way, but I think it's how you let it affect you that is the bigger issue with it all.
I've never got depressed about my body. At times I've disliked it for different things. As I said before, my pigeon chest, always worked through it and been relatively comfortable with it because of certain things like wearing shirts that are bigger.
I mean, there was a time there I had a couple of injuries and I couldn't sort of do any exercise for about 2 or 3 years, and I wasn't playing footy, which I love to play, and I wasn't doing much exercise, and I was doing a fair bit of socialising.
A few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I really put on a fair bit of weight and was quite concerned about my appearance. Obviously I took some steps, I started going to the gym, started curbing my drinking, started watching my food and stuff like that, and then I was able to take some of that weight off.
You can always look at yourself and say, there's improvements you can make.
The kinds of things that make me feel good is acting.
If I played a good basketball game or something, because we play basketball together.
Yep. I didn't feel quite so good last night when we lost by a point, but that's okay.
We went hard and that's all that matters, really.
Yep.
I get in and achieve more things.
When people compliment me,
Just being confident, outgoing.
When I actually get things right.
My friends, my family, my schoolwork make me feel good about myself.
Even if it's a teacher saying that you did your work well, your parents saying you did something well.
Spending time with family and friends and team environments, doing some work in a field that I love.
You don't feel good about yourself if there's people criticising you.
I play lots of sport, I eat well and all that.
if you don't think you're doing too well with something and then you're told that you are doing well, that takes a heap of weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, it makes you think you can do it.
You're hanging out with my mates.
When I exercise and eat the right foods.
Get a lot of satisfaction out of completing tasks at work.
Being encouraged, or when I'm healthy and staying fit.
I think that I squeeze a little bit of good looks out of what I have.
I live in a country which gives me the opportunity to not live by restrictions. I have the freedom to live how I want and be the man I want to be.
I look at myself and say, you know, overall I've done the best I can with what I've got at the moment. I've got to be happy with that and just go out and have a laugh.
I've started to watch what I eat a little more than what I used to.
Particularly now, coming up to Greek theatre, we've got to be very fit with a lot of movement and stuff.
Lower the carbs and the sugar intake.
You try and enjoy yourself, say no,
yeah,
and no means no.
It's all about discipline.
I don't really watch what I eat. Mum tries to, but it doesn't really work.
I don't eat that much junk food or anything.
I've avoided ice cream.
Sometimes I try to do more exercise, take bad stuff, but usually not.
I'm happy if I eat what I want, to not worry about it.
I just eat whatever. I don't limit my eating or control it in any way.
I try not to eat too much junk food, just on special occasions pretty much.
Particularly during football season and things like that, you can't be eating things that are too, you off too well. But having said that, you know, on a weekend or something, I usually let myself down a little bit and enjoy myself a little.
My metabolism is very good. I can eat lots and never get any weight gain.
And more as I get older, it does become more of a factor.
Quantity is probably more important to me than quality.
Buying food, especially snacks sort of food, You know, McDonald's and Hungry Jack's, I definitely try and limit those.
Yeah, sometimes I do worry about what I eat because have Macca's a couple times in a row.
Now I like to cook fresh things a lot and try different recipes and stuff.
I love food, so I just eat what I want.
Yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm still eating some bad food from time to time.
I don't really worry about what I eat. I've got a really high metabolism. I'm sure when I get older I won't be able to.
I just normally eat anything that moves.
The ideal male body, I think, is an athletic body without being too big or too scrawny.
It's not about who's muscly, and it's not about who's skinny. It's about the person of you are that makes you one of them thins.
Bit of muscle tone, but not too much. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was younger was just insane.
I suppose it would just be to not stand out too much, because that's where you can get bullied.
Christian Bale in American Psycho.
The girls at school had a magazine the other day, and perfect guy, like six-pack, abs, whatever, the whole lot. These days with like Photoshop and stuff, like you don't, like sometimes I wouldn't even think that's real.
It's very relative to people's opinions and beauty's in the eye of the beholder, really.
Sort of through movies and magazines and stuff, sort of get an idea of what's good and what's not good. Because I think there's been sort of a long sort of pressure on the girls saying that, oh, you can't sort of publish all this, making the girls look at unrealistic bodies. So people are sort of compensating for that and putting in the more unrealistic male bodies, and people don't seem to get as upset about that.
I suppose it's just as long as you're fit and healthy and you're happy with yourself.
Your body is who you are. Like, you can change it to a certain degree, but then you might be changing yourself.
Comic book style, the thin waist with, sort of comes down with the big muscles and the legs.
Someone that's happy. If they're not happy, then they're going to look bad.
Really, I don't think it matters. Like, as long as you're not overweight, like to the point of it's a problem where you're at risk of diabetes, and as long as you're not too thin, as in anorexic.
Don't hate your body.
So I guess what you feel comfortable with could be a sports type figure, but it also could be, a bit more rough and ready.
We're all built differently. You can't have a set standard. It's not right. And society doesn't work by set standards, and if it does, it shouldn't.
I used to play some fairly serious sort of football where, training and that sort of regime was fairly strict. In that case, I did sort of take stuff like protein shakes. I didn't find it beneficial that much.
If you were like really weedy or something and had like a medical problem, I suppose you could take like protein shakes and all that.
I wouldn't take any of the supplements or energy drink because they taste bad.
Get out there and do something. Go and run, go and ride a bike. Your friend lives 20 k's away in another town. Go for a ride and see him.
Our bodies are designed, and they're designed perfectly. And I feel that you shouldn't argue with that.
One of my role models, I think, is my dad. He used to do a lot of fun runs. He was a great footballer.
He's about 60 now and he's still trying to keep fit, extend that life expectancy.
My father. Worked out in orchards. Was quite broad-shouldered and built. If I was half the man he was, so it'd be quite fine by me.
Steve Irwin for sure. He's a legend, that one.
My close friends, we're all very similar in the way we work, and I think we really bounce off each other really well. We all like to keep ourselves fit, we like to eat good food.
I feel good about myself because I'm involved in a lot of sport. I like swimming, playing basketball, downhill, mountain bike riding, and I've just got good mates.
I love sports, running, tennis, basketball, and everything. Yeah, I'm good at soccer. I'm not too good, but I'm alright at it.
And about my karate, I am a black belt.
I have trouble getting motivated to play sport, especially with swimming. Training is often morning, so it's really quite hard to get out of bed.
And I try to train hard in that, and I got the black belt what I'm looking for, because my aim is to be a karate instructor. When I first got my black belt, very emotional, I was crying. My parents cannot believe that I was up to it.
Got a girlfriend, she loves me and I love her, and things are great there.
I would be deterred from sport if it becomes heavily competitive. The school teams are kind of decided.
It's more about having fun.
Yeah, I would play sport for having fun.
You know, football's always been a massive part of my life, and it's always probably been a part of my whole family's life, and it brings us all together, and you know, we're all sitting there and all having a bit of a friendly banter about who's going to win and that sort of thing. So, you know, that's one of the times, especially with the family and friends, that you really love the most.